Hello folks, Darren here with another fresh review on what could possibly be the best Iron Man figure of all time. If you don't already own its more pristine edition, that is. Cast your mind back to the year 2019, an age of rainbows and uncovered faces. And that was when Avengers Endgame hit the scene. Endgame. It was Avengers Endgame, damn it. Anyway, pretty much 3 hours of unrestrained special effects and an obscene film budget. The epic ended with that iconic shot of Tony Stark uttering those immortal words, "I am tired, man." It's now 2022, and after originally dropping a version of the Mark 85 that didn't look like the end result of a trip through the Thanos washing machine, Iron Man is back and a little bit more worse for wear. The question is it worth paying an obscene amount for this figure? Yes, it certainly is. If you already have the Mark 85 that came out recently, then you know exactly just how brilliantly designed this particular Iron Man figure is. Something I don't say lightly, considering that I have the superb Mark 47 from Spider-Man Homecoming in my collection. This Mark 85 is the exact same body as the previous Mark 85, but with flourishes of battle damage here and there that's mostly contained to the front. We'll get to that gripe soon enough, trust me. What you've got is a screen-accurate Iron Man figure that's also reminiscent of the character's most iconic comic book look. That gorgeous cherry red paint job on top of ostentatious gold on the limbs, all held together by subtle lines of silver throughout it. It's a figure that's an instant attention grabber, taking over any display with its sheer presence alone. Of course, it's not exactly in near mint condition, as a battle to save all of reality from a smurf on steroids means that the Mark 85 has incurred some damage along the way. All over the chest, legs, arms and shoulders there are spots where Stark's nanomachine technology is struggling to keep up with all of the damage inflicted on it. It is destructive beauty, living mechanical scar tissue that snakes around the plastic and die-cast parts. Strangely, none of that damage can be found on the back of this particular Mark 85, as Stark's rear sports an unblemished finish. Seriously, you could place the regular Mark 85 next to it and see zero difference here. I'm in two minds about that though, because A, I'm not planning to have Tony in a Black Widow pose that focuses on his iron booty, but B, I do think that this is a bit of a cost-cutting move by Hot Toys that robs the figure of some of its replica magic. Aside from that gripe, I adore everything else on offer here. The die-cast parts make this Iron Man a hefty and solid 6th scale big boy, one that can easily hold its own weight up and be used as a makeshift weight on the day that your gym is closed. You can even pop the chest piece off to get a closer look at the nanomachine circuits beneath the armor as an added touch. It's kind of neat. What's really clever here is the engineering that's gone into this figure so that it can boast some impressive articulation. For those of you who are wondering if you can do the snap pose, good news! With multiple segments that adjust themselves as you move the arms and legs around, getting Tony into a position that's more difficult than page 69 of the Kama Sutra is actually doable. You'll still want to be a bit more careful though, as some of these parts do feel fragile, but seeing armor panels slide in and out of place as you get the optimum pose sorted for this figure, it is just simply downright amazing. So let's talk about accessories. With the original Mark 85, there were complaints that the fantastic design was lacking certain extras to make a personal display that much better. That figure had a controversial head sculpt which was eventually replaced, a stunning lightning refocuser that was lacking lighter features, a hand with the Infinity Stones attached, and that was it really. Hot Toys Iron Man fans are probably used to this treatment by now, as the Mark 50 Iron Man also skimped out on extras, packaging an arsenal of weapons into a collection that had to be paid for separately. For the battle damaged Mark 85, the options are better at least. Out of the box you've got 2 claw blasters in case you want to turn Iron Man into Mega Man, an energy blade, and just by the way, none of the hands actually fit this blade, so that's just kind of weird, a really nice diorama stand that's beautifully detailed, a bloodied head sculpt of Robert Downey Jr. after a night out on the town during his wild Ally McBeal days, and several Infinity Gauntlet options. That piece of armor is easily going to be the focus for most fans, and the options here are nothing short of stunning. Besides the battle damage gauntlet that can be slipped onto the figure, it also comes with 3 different hands. There's a hand that features fully articulated fingers, a hand with a softer and more relaxed form, and a hand that's ready to snap Thanos, the mother of all middle fingers. Each option looks fantastic, and when you've got the batteries installed, seeing the glow of vast cosmic energies weave their way through the gauntlet is just sublime. Plus, the rest of the figure's LEDs look like they could blind me with the unholy light of Marvel's darkest gods. Speaking of LED batteries, I genuinely hope that the next set of Iron Man figures can somehow move past the requirement to insert roughly 47,000 tiny batteries into a figure just so that I can have an expensive 6th scale flashbang. In an age where even bootleg toys have a USB option that charges an internal battery that's wired into every LED, Hot Toys has fallen way behind the curve on what's mechanically possible with toys today. Times are changing and the company needs to adapt as well. Anyway, the other plus side here is that if you own the other Mark 85, then the accessories are compatible with it as well. Does it suck that you have to spend the equivalent of a small European nation's GDP just to get the full endgame experience? Possibly, but I also cannot argue with the end result. I think the main takeaway with this particular Mark 85 is that it represents the end of an era. While this is far from the final Iron Man figure that will ever be made, and sweet Stanley, I have way too many pre-orders, thank you DJ, it is the final Iron Man in the MCU timeline. Like the film, the Mark 85 is the culmination of more than a decade of development, evolution, and persistence. I've got absolutely zero regret when it comes to the shocking epiphany that I've basically bought the same figure twice, because seeing these two in my display cabinet, it fills me with pure wonder and amazement. This is a brilliantly engineered figure, and even though I do have some lingering complaints, it more than lives up to its own hype. It is the final chapter in a long saga, one that closes the book on a journey that began in a dusty cave and came to a conclusion on a battlefield where all of reality was at stake. It's the Iron Man replica that goes out with a snap. Alright, and that is a wrap, folks. If you've made it this far, thank you, it means a ton to me. And as you may have noticed, I don't really get bogged down in the details. I'm more of an emotional reviewer. That's how I review a toy. There are other fantastic channels out there that will do a much more technical breakdown than I will, but this is my style. Now, with that being said, if there's anything you would like to know about this figure, any questions I can answer for you before you pull the trigger and buy it for yourself, please just leave me a comment below and I will happily answer any questions that you may have. As for the rest of the video, next couple of minutes, these are just glamour shots. It's not going to be me waffling for too long, so you can just sit back, relax, just see the figure in all its glory until the timer and the music runs out. And if you like what you saw, please a like and a subscribe would be super appreciated. Until next time guys, thank you for watching this video, it means the world to me.